The Nun from 2018 got a 24% on Rotten Tomatoes, but what do I think about it? What's up, y'all? Today we're going to be reviewing The Nun from 2018. The Conjuring Last Rites comes out this Friday, and it is supposedly the last movie in the Conjuring universe. So we're going to be reviewing every movie in the order that they happen in the Conjuring timeline. After the reviews, I'm going to do some rankings and then some tier lists as well. So I don't know how fast these are going to come out because right now it is September 2nd. And The Conjuring Last Rites comes out September 5th. And this is The Nun. So this is the very first out of the 9 movies. So we'll see if I can get all 9 movies out by Friday. It's going to be like 3 videos a day. We'll see if that happens or not. That would be awesome, but you know I don't. So yeah, you tell the future. Here is the timeline of the Conjuring universe if you are interested or want to see these movies in order yourselves. So without further ado, let's get into the first movie of this timeline, which is The Nun. The Nun is directed by Corin Hardy, and it stars Tiesa Farmiga, Bonnie Aarons, Jonas Blake, and Damon Beecher. When a young nun at a cloistered abbey in Romania takes her own life, a priest with a haunted past and a soon-to-be nun on the threshold of her final vows are sent by the Vatican to investigate. Together they uncover the order's unholy secret. Risking not only their lives, but their faith and their very souls, they confront a malevolent force in the form of a demonic nun. This movie feels awesome. I really do like the setting of Romania. It feels dark. It really does feel tense, like you're kind of trapped because it is so dark. And there's only one holdback about it being so dark, is that it feels boring at times. It really does feel to drag. It starts to take a toll on you. It feels like it's 3 hours long, but it's only an hour and 30 minutes. As far as the characters go, I thought they worked. I don't think it was anything great. I don't think it was anything bad. I think they were good actors who made work what they were given. So, no complaints in that department. The scare style here obviously is heavy on the jump scares, which doesn't really work in 2025 as much as it did in the 2010s because, that was the jump scare craze and everything like that. But, it's not the worst, but it doesn't hold up even from 7 years ago. So I don't think this movie is going to age very well because it was made for the 2010s only. So I would say if you're big on the Conjuring franchise, go check it out. Maybe stream it, but if you're not big on the Conjuring franchise, you don't need to watch this to understand the later movies, the better movies at that. You don't need to watch this to understand it. Honestly, a lot of this movie seems unnecessary at times, like it doesn't even connect with the franchise at all, which it does, but it's not necessary. So, if you're a Conjuring fan, check it out. If not, it's worth a skip. Okay, so for now on, there will be spoilers. So if you have not seen The Nun and you wish to see it, go ahead and click off. And about the characters, like I said, the priest and Irene, they work, but they don't give us anything great to follow. There's not a lot of character development. And, Frenchie, he provides some comic relief, but honestly, it's just, sometimes it feels out of place at times, and he feels out of place at times. And, I don't think it's so much, like I said earlier, the cast, but more what they were given, that it's not super strong with the chemistry. And obviously for themes, we have faith versus evil, believing in your faith. And, that's always really going to be a theme here when we're talking about the Conjuring universe. Also with Irene's commitment to her vows, it's kind of a counterbalance to Valak's evilness. But, there's lore that connects to the Conjuring franchise. But like I said, it is surface level, so it's not like you have to watch this to understand the Conjuring. But, it does. I guess it's kind of fun because for me, I do enjoy lore. Whether it's, not the best, but I still do enjoy it. And I do find kind of a guilty pleasure in this movie. I guess you can call it a guilty pleasure because a lot of people don't like it. But I'm able to have fun with it. But that's mainly because this whole entire franchise, as we'll talk about later when we get to the Conjuring movies, is just so nostalgic for me. And it's like kind of the reason I got into horror. It's one of the movies that really pushed me that way. So I got a secret found love for the Conjuring franchise, so I can't poop on it. I can't do it. If I had to pick a favorite moment, it would be when Sister Irene is praying and then the imaginary sister she sees tells her, don't stop praying, keep praying. It's like showing that she's keeping her faith. And then we learned that those sisters never existed, and it was Valak trying to mess with her head, but still she was able to keep praying and stay alive during that time. And then Father Burke and Frenchie were able to come in, and then after that they were able to go defeat Valak. So I mean, that moment, it was pretty cool. It did feel a little rushed and maybe a little out of place, but I enjoyed that section for sure. It did get me that twist that they were never actually there, you know. They got me. As far as the least favorite moment, I don't know if I have a least favorite moment, but I just probably least favorite aspect is how they explored Valak's past. I guess it felt cheap and just kind of like a cop out, just the easy way out to explore Valak's past. And you guys know I love lore in horror franchises. And this has so much potential with the lore, and it does do great with the lore in some parts. But in The Nun, I really feel the lore is really chopped in half, really. I mean, it feels like there should be more with Valak being such a big character in this franchise, but the lore just feels like something that was just put together overnight, just thrown together. It was like, oh, this is pretty scary. We throw some jump scares in here. You know, I think it'd be a pretty good movie. It'd do pretty well. So, I mean, I just feel like there wasn't a lot put into it, and it honestly takes away from the scariness of Valak as a whole. And yeah, the ending or finale ties back to the Conjuring franchise, I guess, as much as it can, because, you know, the Nun or Valak comes back later on, so there has to be a way for it to live. But with just putting Frenchie at the end, you know, having him get possessed by Valak, and we did see that on screen, but at the end when they're about to leave and we see the backwards cross on his neck, and then we're like, oh, well, there's going to be another movie. Well, obviously we did know that because The Conjuring 2 features Valak, and we know that comes later in the timeline. But with it, just throwing that in at the end, I felt like that was a quick way to just be like, okay, we can make more movies out of this with this character. Like, we can make a Nun 2. It's just a setup for the Nun 2 at the end of the day. There could have been more creative ways to tie it, Valak back, but it honestly creates a even more confusing layer, because once, as we'll talk about later, when the Nun 2 ends, I mean, as far as I'm concerned, I thought Valak was destroyed, but then it comes back in The Conjuring 2, so I don't really know, honestly, but I mean, if you do know, drop it down in the comments below. But I mean, it's obviously theories for now until we get everything filled in with the last rites, but that was just probably my least favorite aspect about this movie. I mean, honestly, this review might be shorter than my usual reviews, because I do respect this movie because it's nostalgic to me, but there's really not a lot of substance here. There's really nothing. I felt a lot of the movie felt like filler. I mean, we have a lot of jump scares. I guess it was, I mean, we have, you know, some good jump scares at least. They're not terrible. When the kid with the snake comes in, which I don't like that aspect as well, how that kid, they kind of just threw in that kid to be something that Father Burke would be afraid of. So it was just kind of like, okay, what can we do? Let's throw in this kid that died in his past while he was trying to perform an exorcism on him. And, you know, that was kind of weak. And then, you know, we have that kid coming back and that snake coming out chasing him getting buried alive, and then Irene hearing the bells and coming back to save him. There's a lot of decent scenes. We have Frenchie out seeing the nun when he's about to go back. When Father Burke sends him back and he goes home. I mean, there's a lot of things that you can have some fun with in this movie, but a lot of it feels like filler, kind of boring. The Abbey's a cool setting. It feels a little dark, and, you know, sometimes it kind of gives a boring vibe, and it's trying to go for a scary vibe by being so dark, but it kind of ends up taking the left turn on that and ending up kind of boring with the vibe. But I mean, it's worth respect. It just doesn't have a lot of substance for me personally. But don't get that twisted, though. I do enjoy this movie. The reviews on this thing are over exaggerated. Like on Letterboxd or on the Rotten Tomatoes, I think this has like a 24%. I mean, that's a little bit overshot, guys. 24%. Like, to put that into perspective, the Final Destination from 2009 or Final Destination 4 got a 28% on Rotten Tomatoes. So we're saying The Final Destination is better than The Nun? I don't think so, because The Nun's not great, but The Final Destination is terrible. So it's like, they're not even on the same playing field. But I don't know, that's just me. Let me know what you think about that down below. But yeah, they're not even on the same ballpark. But yeah, there's a few good jump scares in here. A lot of people getting thrown at the wall when Valak opens up her mouth and people go flying and things like that. I mean, the intro, I do want to say, is strong. The beginning intro is strong. I forgot to mention that earlier. But like the opening scene, I think it's pretty scary, but it is boring. That's the only thing that holds it back. It seems boring. Because I remember it took me a while to finally actually watch this movie for the first time. And this was my second watch, but up until I actually fully watched it the first time, it was years. It was years before I like at least 2 to 3 years before I was like, okay, I'm going to actually watch this. And I watched it the whole way through and then realized the opening scene was pretty decent if you can get over it being kind of boring. So, I mean, with that being said, I mean, that's pretty cool. That's a positive, I can say. But yeah, people do over-exaggerate how bad it is. So for me, I mean, I've watched it twice. I don't know if I'd revisit this thing. Maybe if I'm trying to go through the Conjuring franchise again in the future. So if you are someone who's just trying to watch through all the Conjuring movies, I mean, yeah, this is worth a watch. But if not, then it's kind of not very necessary. And maybe just a one-time watch. Overall, I would say this movie is decent, different from others' opinions. But I give it 3 out of 5 pickles. And I might put my pickle in it. Maybe not, depending on how I'm feeling that day. You know what I'm saying? Please let me know what you guys think about The Nun down in the comments below. Let me know if there's anything I missed. You know, any lore you want to throw down. Absolutely feel free to drop that down in the comments below. Please drop a like and hit that subscribe button, or you will see Valak in the corner of your room. Thank y'all so much for watching, and have a blessed day. Peace.